Well, hello. How are you? I'm a little fired up today, so I'm going to have a rant. A rant here on this channel, which is typically about reselling. I'm keeping it off the other channel, which is the Happy Fun channel, and I'm just going to put it on here because I got something to say. I also have a lovely pimple thing above my lip, and my concealer wore off because it is hotter than Hades. But let's talk women's equality, shall we? Let's talk women's equality with the current backdrop being the women's soccer team, the U.S. soccer team that just won the World Cup. Now, I don't watch soccer. I don't watch many sports. I don't really know much about sports. I didn't watch it, but of course you know what's going on. And of course the whole thing in terms of, obviously they've won, they've been winning for years, is that they do not get paid the same as the male team. The U.S. men's soccer team makes $500,000 per person. That's what they get paid. The women get $90,000. Now, the women have been winning for years. Recently, their ticket sales, gate attendance, all that stuff has surpassed the men. And so we're back to, should the women be paid what the men are? And there are still people out there who are like, I just don't know. I posted on Instagram a graphic. Equal pay or equal play, equal pay. The women play the same as the men. They should get the same as the men. And people, specifically women, were arguing that point. I just blocked their ass. I don't take any of it. I'm done. I'm done. If you're going to come on my page and argue with me over my own post, I'm done. I don't take that. No. My page, my opinion. So, but the fact that the people who speak out against women's equality are other women just baffles me. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? The women, first of all, should just be treated equal to the men because we're all equal, or supposedly, but we're not, because unless you are a white heterosexual man, you're not equal in this country, and you're not equal really in most parts of the world. You're just not. You're not paid the same. You don't have the same rights. You just aren't. So now the argument is, well, now that the women are better than the men, now they should be equal because they're now better. Now the argument can be made that they're equal. No, now they're better. They should be paid better. But no, in this world, to be equal, you have to be better than. The women win more. The women bring in more money. They bring in more tickets. They bring in everything more. They're more famous. All the stuff. Okay, now that they're better than the men, now maybe they could be equal. And then someone had, some right-wing crazy thing online said, well, the women shouldn't actually get equal pay because they're going to get good endorsement deals. What? No, you get the equal pay and the endorsement deals. Why shouldn't they get the equal pay and equal endorsement deals? Because you know their endorsement deals aren't going to be as good as the men either. You see what baseball players make and the NBA makes and what other men, NFL, they make insane salaries and they get insane endorsement deals. Why should now the women, if they're going to get endorsement deals, then sacrifice their pay? Well, you're going to get some commercials. So that should satisfy you to not get as much pay. No! What world are we living in? I mean, I know this stuff has been going on forever, and this whole soccer thing has just brought it to the forefront. Plus, I'm knee deep in The Handmaid's Tale, not only watching season 3, but I'm now going back and watching the first 2 seasons, and I'm just like, when are we ever going to be equal? All of us, everybody equal, and when are the people who fight against equality going to stop being in the same class as we are? The people who speak up the loudest against equality, when you look on, social media posts, it seems like it's always the women. Other women arguing that we shouldn't all be equal because, well, the Bible says, or this, oh man, don't even get me started. Look, I'm consider myself Christian, was raised Methodist, but there's a lot of things in the Bible that a lot of people aren't abiding by right now. So don't even start what the Bible says. We're not even going down that road. I'm just so frustrated. I'm frustrated again with if I post something online, it's my opinion. Why do people go on other people's social media posts and argue with them? If the person says, hey, what's your opinion? Then you leave it. If they don't say, hey, what's your opinion? Take your opinion to your own page and put it there. Why do they feel the need to argue? It just drives me nuts. But also, why, as a woman, would anyone even fathom not thinking that women should make the same amount of money as men, have the same equality, equal rights, protection under the law as men, same for people of color, same for people in the LGBTQ community. Everyone who is a human being should have the same rights. We should all be paid the same for the same amount of work. We should all have the equal rights. We should all be equal. We're not equal. If you think we're all equal, you're living in a hole. Rant. I'm just so fired up. I'm so fired up. Just drives me nuts. I was watching Anderson Cooper last night, and he was interviewing one of the soccer players, and they were talking about how the men play on actual grass because that's the best way to play. The women have to play on AstroTurf. That's less than. And they referenced a game where both the women and the men's teams were playing. The women went first, and they played on AstroTurf. But before the men came out, they rolled out real grass over the AstroTurf for the men. What? What the actual F? What? It's just insane. And I was watching another clip of a couple of the other women's soccer players, and they were like, well, I feel like now, we can make the case. We can make the case for equal. And that's just sad. It's just sad that, again, they felt that they not only had to be equal, but they had to surpass what the men were doing in order to even make the case for equality. To even make the case. Well, we're better than the men, so maybe now we can have maybe like an edge there to get in. It's ridiculous. All women should be paid the same as men. All people should make the same amount of money and they're working the same job. And if the women's soccer team, as a professional soccer team, and all the money that soccer brings in, are doing better than the men, they should not only be paid what the men are paid, but they should be paid more than the men. There should be a baseline payment for all soccer players, men or women. And then, as you do better, you make more. That's how it is in the other sports, which of course are all male dominated, because I don't know any women's sport where they actually make a good living. The women, there's an NBA for the women's team, the WNBA. Those women don't make hardly anything. They have to all play overseas during the rest of the part of the year just to make a living. Versus the men, which have insane contracts. And then there are, of course, the endorsement deals that nobody ever gets except for the men. I just can't take it. I want to be equal. I get this, look, I am a white, straight woman in America. I have had a lot of privilege. I'm not sitting here saying that I know what it's like to be really discriminated against, like someone of color or someone who is gay or transgender. I don't know those experiences, but I do know what it is like as just a woman to be belittled, to be seen as less than, to be paid less, to have my opinions kind of scoffed at, brushed aside, be told by other women, like, you need to be more, you need to be more demure and Christian and listen to what God says in the Bible and submit to them. No, not doing that. And it's just a constant fight. Whenever I talk about my business, just business experience, and I've had this with talking to other men, not all men, I'm not bashing all men. There have been plenty of men who are supportive and they get it, but I've had experiences talking to other, or two men in the business I am, and they're just very like, maybe I had one say, I guess you maybe do know what you're talking about. Really? This is another thing. You see all these guys online, the internet marketers, and they're screaming about all their courses and pay this and pay this and pay this. And then a woman will try to start like a small paid course or a Patreon group, and she is just bashed. How dare you try to sell information? And no. But a man can do it. My feed on Facebook is filled with sponsored ads, and my YouTube, all these ads pop up for men selling this, selling that, but a woman who actually has years and years and years of experience, proven numbers, can't even start, like I said, a Patreon or a very small paid group or a very reasonably priced course, and she's just trash. Well, what do you know? How dare you try to do this? Because as women, we're supposed to be nice. We're supposed to help everyone and give everything away and put our own needs. I won't work on my business today. I'll just go and help you and everybody else. It's hard to be a woman. If you are a woman and you feel this way, you can leave me a comment below. If you don't, you want to argue with me, I pray for you, because I don't know how you can go against your own, how you can go against fellow women and think that we're not equal. And again, I'm just speaking for women. I can't speak for people of color. I can't speak for individuals in the LGBTQ community. I don't have those experiences, but I know you have it too. It's white, straight men here, and then the rest of us are down here. And we're at varying degrees. Like they say, black men are under white men, and then maybe like white women, and then black women. And I think anyone who's not black or white is way down at the bottom in their own thing. LGBTQ, way under that. So not even in the unequality areas, we're still like stacked down in terms of pay and rights. I feel better. This feels better. I'm here at Target. I'm getting ready to go into Target. I just needed to rant. I needed to get this out, and I feel better. And I hope the women's soccer team will be paid more than the men. I hope they will get awesome sponsorships. I hope all women will have equal pay. I hope everyone of color, I hope everyone in the LGBT community, I hope everyone, including the white, straight men, I hope we all could be equal. Paid the same, treated the same, equal rights. Just let everybody live their life. As long as no one's interfering on your civil rights, everybody should have a right to live their life the way they want to, and don't worry about what other people are doing behind closed doors or with this person or that person, as long as they're not doing you any harm. Okay, I feel good now. I'm going to go in. I'm going to get Papa some oranges. Thank you for listening to my rant. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. I'm sure those of you who didn't like it will give it a thumbs down and leave me a nasty comment, but I really don't care, because I had to get that out. So that is today's rant. Do you want more rants? Because I have a lot of rants in me, and I wouldn't mind putting them here on YouTube. So if you want some more rants, leave me a comment below and let me know that as well. So I will see you guys soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.